Guys, I cannot thank you enough. So 100% thank you, thank you, thank you. I am not immune to this. I am 100% happy to meet you. So my first concert was back in '94. I was in high school. I think it was my sophomore year of high school. And it was Lollapalooza, where the headliner was Metallica. My second concert was with who I have married and is still my beautiful wife, was Celine Dion. So you guys can have my man card if you want. But I did go and it was amazing. So Celine Dion was dope. That was my second concert. My first dance that I danced, slow dance too. So I'm an overachiever. So was the dance by Garth Brooks. Anybody know? Guess how old I am. So. All right, a little bit more about me. So why am I qualified to even be up here talking? Well, first and foremost, I'm a family guy. I have a beautiful family. That's them in the upper right-hand corner. If you can see my one daughter in the blue shirt, she always makes silly, stupid faces because she does that because she absolutely hates her face on any kind of social media. So anytime I have a chance to kind of put it out there in the world, I do, just to bug her. Small business owner, that's my company, Ctrl+F. This will not be a pitch. I 1,000,000% promise it. It won't be. Full service IT recruiting. I've been in staffing for over a decade. Been doing Ctrl+F for over 3 years. We only do perm business. I did the contracting, but now all we do is perm business. I have an amateur podcaster. So if you ever, wherever you get your podcast, it's called Take Control, like TAKECTRL. Some of the things I have on there is like military recruiting, interview prep, resume tips, how to hire software engineers, things like that. It's not a giant 1 hour long like a Joe Rogan type thing. Well, it's literally nothing like Joe Rogan's, but it's like 15, 20 minutes, real quick hits that hopefully can help you. And then IBM certified trainer, started in HR, regular HR, and moved over to the staffing world. My mantra and my company's mantra is always helping, always be helping. And so if there's anything that I can do to help anyone that's in this room, please reach out to me. I'm pretty sure I'm the only Levette Roos on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to connect, and if I can bring anybody together, I will. All right, the rundown. So first and foremost, you guys have never been part of my talks. So this is going to be a PG-13. Sometimes I drop not an F-bomb, but we'll go S-bomb. So PG-13, interactive conversation among friends. So I don't know everything, and I've got decent swag. So I'm going to bribe you guys to also be part of the conversation. And if I'm not getting any love, I hope it's cool, I'm going to call on you. So it's going to be definitely an interactive conversation. Pretty much I'll throw up a couple of ideas and tips that I'm familiar with that has worked for me, and then I'll throw it out to you guys. We're going to talk about what the heck not to do when networking. That's the biggest thing. Or that's one of the biggest things, is what not to do. We're going to talk about why networking is important. We're going to talk about some prep work, what you do before. Hey, we're at an event, so we're going to talk about what to do during. And then introverts. I'm gonna mansplain some tips and ideas to help if you're an introvert, and then what to do in follow-up. All right, what not to do. Hi, I'm Levette. Hey, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, I'm done. Have a nice day. I see you from over the room. What's up? How's it going? Yeah, right on. Okay. Just be normal. Don't be weird. Don't be a creep, right? You're not trying to date. Hey, if you're over the other room, when you're talking to somebody, don't be like looking over at someone else, whatever. It's just pretty much natural interactions between people. Don't drink too much, right? Don't, like, if there's alcohol that's involved, don't. So my meetup, I have a meetup, Corporate Recruiters of Charlotte, and we had our holiday mixer last night, and there was a couple of people that had too much to drink towards the end of the night, right? If you're gonna drink, nothing wrong with it. I recommend the alternating, drink a beer, drink water, drink a beer, but you gave a good example, you threw some locking eyes out, so thank you for that. What else? Give me some examples of what not to do. Anyone? I know I picked on you first. Anyone? Okay. You're not there to date. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you gonna say something?
Why don't you do when you meet someone for the first time, or why don't you do when?
Yeah. Just in general, what not to do. When you're at it, what are some of the things that you saw people do that you're like, oh, definitely not doing that, kind of thing. So, yeah, it's just be authentic, be yourself. Everyone's there. You're nervous to begin with. So at the end of the day, just be, don't make inappropriate jokes. Hand to God. I was talking to two ladies last night, two women and a man, and we were talking. And I was like, yeah, what you just, when you're at these things, don't throw out dick jokes. And instantly, it was like, oh man, I just messed up. True story. We had like two more interactions, and then the group burst. I was like, yeah. And it wasn't. I said the word dick joke. It wasn't like I made one, but it still was bad. So, yeah. So, what do you guys think? Why is networking important? Why is networking important?
It can help you establish relationships with people that can help you grow your career.
Man, that's almost the definition, textbook definition. Absolutely. What else? Why is networking important? It can help you, meet new people and establish your career. What else? Yes.
Somebody said it's not what you know, but it's who you know.
Ah, I'm glad that you mentioned that. So yeah, a lot of people say it's not what you know, but it's who you know. So I am about 70-30 regarding that. 30 meaning it's who you know, 70% is what you know. And in my experience, especially in tech, if you're not good at what you do and you're developing a reputation of not doing good work, it doesn't matter who you know after that. You know what I mean? So yeah. Anyone else?
Go to those relationships where you have a personal connection where people care beyond the piece of paper.
A personal connection.
You can't have a personal connection with your resume. Why do I care to be in this class today?
Correct. Why do I care to be in this class? Having a personal connection with people. Absolutely. So, right on. Thank you for that.
Create opportunities for you in the future.
Help create opportunities for you in the future. Yeah, absolutely. With both. So, I was working with this hiring manager, director of software here in Charlotte a couple years back. And he calls me up and he's like, hey, Levette, I know my job's going away in a week. And I was like, oh, dude, I got my eyes, send me your resume. Got my eyes, my ears peeled for you, 100%. And he's like, yeah. So I didn't have anything for him at that moment. So I call him up 2 weeks later. Hey, how's things going? I got a couple of job opportunities for you. You said your job was ending in a week. Here it is 2 weeks later. You're officially 100% in the market, right? And he's like, yeah. And so I was like, cool. Well, here's 2 job opportunities that I'm working on. What do you think? And he was like, well, actually, I'm like 3 interviews deep with like 2 different companies. And I was like, dude, you've been on the market 2 weeks. Now, we all know tech and stuff is real hot. And I was like, you didn't post your resume, did you? He was like, no, I didn't have to. I literally just put it out to my network. And because they knew me and the work that I do, like I got these opportunities like that. He was only on the market for like 3 weeks. And it was all because of his network. So, and he ended up getting hired like a week later, and I didn't get to place him, and whatever. Guy's dead to me now. Totally kidding. But yeah, what events should I go to? So what events do you guys go to right now besides SQL Saturday?
User group meetings?
Yeah. Which one specifically?
The Charlotte user group.
Charlotte SQL Server, CBIG? SQL Server. CBID, CBIG. CBIG is good. Which one? Pass Summit. They rejected me. They wouldn't let me speak. But I don't care. They're awesome. Absolutely. Great stuff. Yep. What else? Which one? Tableau. Right on. Yeah. Obviously, Eventbrite's got a ton of networking events or groups on there. Here you go, my man. I'm sorry. You gave me good ideas. Sorry. There you go. Have I give you this yet? So Eventbrite, if you guys aren't familiar with it, just go on there. I mean, you could just search tech or whatever. CBig is always on Eventbrite. And then there's almost a user group for anything. So any of you young bucks that are like, wondering what to go to and what's out there, Charlotte, you could literally not have to buy dinner Monday through Thursday in Charlotte because there's so much in regards to networking. But Eventbrite, EVENTBRIGHT, Eventbrite. So should you even go? Like, just because you can get free dinner every single night, right? Should you even go to those, right? And my time is the only resource that none of us can get back. And so if you're going to go to a networking event, make sure, number one, that it is absolutely up your alley, because you don't want to just waste time and have a free lunch, or a free dinner. And if you're going to, especially if they're recurring networking events, I'm going to go through this in a second, but play the long game with them. If you're going to a networking event, keep going, especially if it's something that's in your wheelhouse, that's interesting, because you go once and it's over, you may have made one connection, but if you keep going, that's how I got to be able to speak. I was a regular goer of CBig, and throughout the years of me going to that event, I got invited to do a talk for them, and then one talk turned to another, and so I wouldn't have had that opportunity to speak here without playing the long game. And not worrying about instant gratification, which a lot of time instant gratification is learning something new or meeting somebody. You never know. So if you do go, be strategic, be purposeful with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which ones should you go to? I just talked about that. All right. So this lady, Debbie Lawrence, she's an HR professional. She's very active out on LinkedIn. She liked this post, and this is literally we could just leave right now because this is my presentation. Like, it's all about listening with the aim of advancing someone else's agenda, not yours. If you're able to help somebody and be selfless, it's going to come back to you. If you do it 10 times, it's going to come back to you like 2 or 3 times. But don't do it for the sake of it coming back to you. Do it because it's the right thing to do. I've got numerous stories about that. So that's the biggest point I hope that you guys take out of here. All right. What to do before the event, right? You put on as much cologne as humanly possible. Maybe smoke a couple of cigarettes. I'm kidding. All right. Write down some goals, right? Before you go, what event you're going to. Write down a couple of goals. Hey, man, I know that so-and-so is going to be there. I'd love to shake his hand. I know so-and-so is speaking. I'd love to shake her hand. Write down a couple of goals, the reason that you're going to be there. I'm there for the Chick-fil-A, or I'm there for the Jimmy John's, whatever the case may be. If you're able to get the attendees list, that is awesome. Meetup.com is amazing for that. See who else is going. I've seen people out on LinkedIn going, hey, I'm going to SQL Saturday on Saturday. If anyone else is going to be there, look me up. I'd love to chat with you. I've seen the people put that out there on LinkedIn and things. Reach out to people in advance, like I just said. God, keep spoiling my own. All right, create a contact information collection strategy. I know, basically, how are you going to collect the information to reach back out to people? LinkedIn makes that super easy, by the way. There's like the LinkedIn app, there's like a part that has a QR code or something, and you can like literally scan each other's phone, and bam, you can instantly connect with them. Notebook, write it down, whatever, but you're there to connect with people, and I can't remember shit, so I write everything down or I email myself it, and have a little strategy that you're going to do it ahead of time, and let people know, hey, by the way, just FYI, I'm not trying to be rude, I just want to make sure that I don't forget information, blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense? Networking and going to these things and talking to new people is very stressful. So practice a little bit, you know. I'm going to give you some ideas for icebreakers. You guys are going to give me some ideas for icebreakers. You know, practice those. You know, there's nothing wrong or weird with that. At the end of the day, like I said, talking to strangers is a little stressful. It's a little angsty. So practice.
Is this your 30-second elevator speech?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And all right, so I'm a big proponent of like getting your mind and your body into like, you know, positive mindset, right? Whether you're going on an interview or you're going to a networking event, you know, play music that you're super into and, you know, get hyped up, be in a positive mindset. I do that all the time, whether I'm going to a client meeting, whether I'm going to an interview, whether I'm going, so right now I'm really into the Man by Aloe Black. So that's what this morning on the way here, that's what I was playing. So, because it gets me into a positive mindset. Does that make sense? What else? What else before the event that I did not cover? Okay, I'll take that. Get some sleep, yeah. Yep, did I give you these? One of these? Yeah. Get some sleep, be well rested, absolutely.
Like, part of that mindset is to not be desperate.
Ah, okay.
Have some confidence, maybe, some, I'm okay, you know, so whatever.
Yep.
I'm worthy of being there.
So be confident, right? No one wants to talk to anybody who's needy. So last night at my meetup, all right, I'll give you, there you go. So last night at my meetup, that I run are two of them. One, I run, co-organize the AI and bots meetup, and then I also run the corporate recruiters of Charlotte meetup. So I'm going to reference it a bunch because I just had my end of year bash last night. So it was me and a bunch of corporate recruiters, right, from a lot of different companies, a couple of agency recruiters as well. But there was like 3 people. One lady was in marketing, and she was looking for a job. She just came across the Eventbrite. And so she was literally there with a bunch of recruiters, and she was marketing. I was like, hell yeah, lady, this is awesome. Her, even though she was looking for a job, her mindset, and she was so positive, and she was able to steer some of the conversations that we were having, you know, to marketing. And what we do in recruiting a lot of times is marketing and stuff. So it was an easy like transition for her. So very confident, not needy, and she made it really fun. So absolutely. And there was another gentleman that was looking for a job, but he happened to be in tech, so it was easy. I actually invited him to SQL Saturday. I don't see him, so screw that guy. I'm just kidding.
I got a comment about the LinkedIn.
Yes.
I had a guy one time, he just asked for my name and 1 or 2 questions.
Okay.
And then next thing I know, he was looking me up on LinkedIn.
Okay.
And to me, you should at least have, you don't mind if I look, you know, conversation. Unless you do it from afar, you know.
All right.
But if you talking to me, you know, you're like, your mind is like.
So.
The next thing I know, he was looking me up. I'm like,
It can also be a generation.
Yeah. So I see your point, right?
Yeah.
But there's 2 sides of that. We can easily hide our if we. So there's a way on LinkedIn where it's like, hey, if you're going to look somebody up, do you just want your name to show up? Do you want your whole profile to show up, or nothing to show up? Right. So there's that. By the way, is it cool if I look you up on LinkedIn? Okay. Cool. But yeah, I guess I get it. But one thing I'm literally going to tell everybody in this room is like, if you connect with somebody, immediately go on LinkedIn and connect with them. But to your point, it's like, hey, I want to keep going with this conversation. Connection? Is it cool if we connect on LinkedIn? So it depends on the situation. Yeah. Yeah.
I would think as a positive thing, because someone was so invested about you that he wanted to, get more information about you and everything.
Did I give you that already?
Thank you.
Okay.
And connect with you.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing.
Yep.
I think if you're to have a face-to-face, it's good to ask, you know, or when I connect with people, I usually put a little verbiage in there and not just ask for a connection, but, you know, we met here, we did this, we have similar interests.
Ah,
You know, we'd be
you're kind of stealing my thunder.
enjoying my professional network.
Correct. So,
I'd be
so
honored if you joined my professional network.
So out on LinkedIn, right? What you're to build upon what you're saying is like don't just, you know, a lot of recruiters do this where it's just they use the canned response that LinkedIn gives you. If you're on LinkedIn and you met somebody at, I don't know, a SQL Saturday and you want to connect with them, say, hey, we met at SQL Saturday. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'd love to connect with you. Like literally make a personal invitation. So I totally agree with you. And that's like 6 slides from now. So thanks for beating me there.
Kind of to that end, I get requests on LinkedIn from people I don't know, I've never met.
Yeah.
They just show up, and they're not, some are recruiters, some aren't.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? You kind of don't want them in your business, but you're kind of intrigued because it kind of grows your network. But it's kind of a double-edged sword.
It is a double-edged sword.
What do you suggest you do in those situations?
All right, so the only recruiter you should connect with is me. No, totally. Yeah. Phone number. No. Totally kidding. So seriously, I get connection requests all the time from competitors and just you know, people trying to sell me stuff. Right, that's the biggest one. Just click on their LinkedIn, and if you like what you see, and if it's like it's like, all right, I don't know you, but so and so. All right, cool. Yeah, I like what you. I mean, I reject at least 3 people a day. I don't say reject. No, reject, right? Because you have accept or reject. So I reject like 3 people a day. If it doesn't make sense, I'm all about quality, and I have been with LinkedIn since day one, not quantity. And for me, it's always about quality. So I just look on their profile. If I connect with them, cool. If not, I just ignore it. It's just what it comes down to. Now, if I don't know you and I am attempting to connect with you, I put a verbiage in there. It's like, hey, I see that you and I share a connection with Steve and Rob, because it tells you, right? I would love to connect with you as well. So instantly, there is a reason to connect. Right, 3rd level connections, if you're trying to connect with a 3rd level connection, and I just say, hey, look, I loved your post about X. I'd love to connect with you. And so I make it personal that way. But to answer your question about, you know, just randos, like trying to just, you know, connect with you, if they don't even give you a reason and it's just a connection request, look on their profile, and if you don't like it, just reject it. That's what I do. Thank you for that. Great question. All right, so we're at an event, right? We're at an event. Everyone's palms are sweaty. You know, we're all playing Eminem's Lose Yourself, right before. I'm totally kidding. These are my 4 things of also what not to do. You know, don't use your phone. Like, you know, you're stuck in a corner, right? And you're just like, oh, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't even know why I'm here. This is just insane. Like, oh my God, look at what's on Facebook. What? I'm at a SQL Saturday. Right? Just don't do your phone. I'm just a big proponent of not having that. Now, if you're going to collect, that's how you're going to collect your information, which is how I do. I'll pull it out and say, hey, I'm not trying to be rude. I want to make sure that I stay connected with you. Is that okay? And I put it right there, and I send myself an email or a text. Don't dismiss anyone. Don't be a dick. And I know those two kind of go hand in hand. And don't rush. You know, play the long game. You know, my story about don't dismiss anyone is you just never know who you're going to talk to, and it doesn't matter. You know, there was a time that I was talking to the CTO of Charlotte Pipe and Foundry at a networking event, and we were literally just shooting his shit about like fishing or something. I didn't even, like, it was just so random. And then he reached out to me afterwards, like, and I
Hey, the ACC's in Charlotte tonight.
There you go.
Little comment.
I love it.
Kind of break the ice. The weather's always good too.
What?
Good go-to.
I'm mixed on the weather, right? It's like we just met and we're already talking about the weather? No, I'm kidding.
No, but I mean,
That's
a
good.
quick passing comment.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Man, when I was doing some research on this for other ideas, there was some out, man. So, what was one of them? Like, you just meet somebody and you're like, so, what's your ideal job? It's like, what? We just met. There were some really interesting ones. But, hey, when you're not attending SQL Saturday, what would you normally be doing today, right? That hopefully could lead you into a sporting thing because it's Saturday. Like, oh, I would be mowing my lawn. Oh, what part of Charlotte do you live? Blah, blah, blah. You know, that kind of stuff.
Doesn't it become too personal? Like,
Um,
Gender
Yeah, don't make it too personal kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
It's like asking someone out.
Right. Don't make it too personal where it's like, so what's your sign? Or hey, what's your address? Instead of where you live, what's your address, right? You don't want to do that. Absolutely. You keep it very, very professional, very surface level. Absolutely. Ask them about the event that you guys are at. Hey, what's been your favorite session so far? Hey, if it's a panel, hey, who are you looking forward to talking with or hearing? Why? Again, you're making it about them, right? What did you think of the keynote? How was the keynote, or anything that's related to that? Location questions. I already talked about it. Thank you for that, you guys. Wouldn't hurt to be like, hey, you're chatting, or somebody rolls up and it's kind of, you ever been in those situations where there's like 2 or 3 of you and it's like just now everything's died down? Asking, hey, what's your first job? Or right out of college. Well, what college did you go to? Oh, what was your first job out of college? Surface level questions like you're saying. These are just some really good, that I found that have worked for me, icebreaker questions. Love this question. What was your first car? You're too young. What was your first car? Yeah, what? That's awesome. A Dodge Dart. Dodge Dart, right? Yeah. All right, what about you? Audi A4. Right on. All right, man, what was your first car? That's dope. 240 SX, good car. What about you, sir? What was your first car?
Cutlass 442.
Cutlass. What? That's a big car, right?
Yeah, it was back then.
Yeah. Right on. So my first car was like an 82 Toyota Tercel. Oh, man, I love that little car. Oh, yeah, that little car was amazing. It's like you had to click, and then it would start up. So you weren't really sure if it ever was going to start up every time, but it did. Oh, I love that car. So, yeah.
So you want to kind of give open-ended questions that will spur a conversation. Not yes, no.
If you can.
From Charlotte? No.
Yeah. Here, did I give you a book already? Thanks, man. Yeah, you're 100% right. Ask an open-ended question so that it spurs conversation.
I think that, one of the things that's interesting, you're teaching us what questions to ask and stuff like that. In the end, it's just kind of building relationships.
At the end, you're just trying to connect and build a relationship. Thank you. You are 100% right. This part of the conversation is just, I also like drilling down to like the actual nitty gritty of the moment, and just pulling a tip or something from a tool from your toolbox, But yeah, at the end of the day, like at the very beginning slide, that's all you're doing is trying to truly connect with people. Absolutely.
I think one of the things, this is my personal experience, other people who are connected or not, but sometimes I feel like when someone's trying to just come up out of the blue and start asking me questions,
Right.
what's the ulterior motive?
So-
People can pick it up right a mile away.
So when people are being-
asking me these things and stuff, and it's because, I want to connect with you or connect with you on LinkedIn. It's like,
Right.
for me, when I come to these events, I just talk to people just because I genuinely,
Right. So
talking technology and stuff.
you can tell when people are being disingenuous right away because they're asking, so where do you live? So what do you do? So are you married? What's the weather like?
Let me look at my list.
Yeah, right. Now, let's face it too, like not a lot of people are, some people get really nervous in these situations, especially in tech. A lot of people are introverts too. And so saying that from the jump, hey, look, I love SQL Saturday. It's always been a great event. I get really nervous at these things though with talking with new people, just FYI, and then go into the conversation. But yeah, you can definitely tell the recruiter in the room or the salesperson in the room because they're literally interviewing you instead of talking with you. So I totally know what you mean. They're reading from their list. Absolutely. We just talked about this too. Don't come in hot, right? Coming in. One thing I mean by that, you brought it up, right? For the most part, is don't come in hot when you're asking, So where do you work? How long you work there? Who's your boss? What's your boss's name? Or going in and just like hugging people. Oh my God, hugging. Look, all right, so I had this coworker who was a self-proclaimed hugger, and this dude had no self-awareness. And not only would he hug like literally everybody, men and women, he was an equal opportunity offender, but he was a hugger from the hips. He would come in like this and hug. And I'm like, yo, his name's not Ralph, but I'm like, yo, Ralph, like you've got to stop that. And so don't come in hot. So, all right, who do you talk to, right? Sometimes, you're the one that's like maybe the group dispersed or whatever, right? Who do you choose to speak with? And my biggest tip here is the most relaxed and unrushed looking people in the room. If somebody's like on their way somewhere or something, if somebody's just really chill and, roll up with that person and, use one of the icebreakers. Hey, you come here often? And of course, strangers. We're here to meet people. We're here to connect. We're here to, build your network. And, you got to talk to strangers. You absolutely got to speak with strangers. And the approach. Maybe you don't want to do what Aquaman's doing, right? So how do you approach a group, right? Here's my tip on that. Don't interrupt two people. If two people are talking, they're probably connecting, you're going to be the third wheel. Who wants to be the third wheel? Not me. No. But if there's three or more people that are chatting, it's okay to walk up to them. Do your darndest not to be afraid, but, walk up to them. And ask them, hey, do you mind if I eavesdrop a little bit? Hey, I'm new here. Oh, I'm hitting that. Be nice if I was hitting the right button. Hey, I'm offering to buy a drink. Hey, you guys cool if I get you a drink? Even if they're free. That's a little funny. Hey. Can I get you a bottle of water? I'll buy you a bottle of water. All right. How do you approach like people? We just talked about that. Or keynotes or A-listers, right? A couple of tips here is, hey, do you mind if I bother you for 30 seconds? Somebody just got done, being a part of, I don't know. I go to CIO events a lot. The Biz Journal CIO Year Award winners, and sometimes the CIOs that I want to talk with, I was like, hey, is now a good time for a question? Hey, I saw that you were registered. I saw that you were speaking. And on LinkedIn, you had posted. So that's a little bit on the prep work side. If you want to talk with somebody, go on there, see what they've posted, maybe see what they liked. Love that stuff because that's an easy icebreaker into segueing into just having a conversation. When you ask, it shows that you're considerate about their time. Does all this make sense? Questions, comments, concerns? We got like less than 10 minutes left, so introverts. All right, like I said before, I'm a bit of mansplaining the introvert side. I did some research, but my wife is very much an introvert. And so I ran a lot of these by her first, and so she was cool with them. So I hope this helps. If you're nervous about going somewhere, bring a friend or a conference buddy. If anyone wants me to be their conference buddy or a, look me up on LinkedIn. If I got time, I will. I'll go with you. What's that? Professional wingman. I wonder if I could get paid doing that. Did I give you a book? I don't know if I gave you a book. There you go. Professional wingman. Maybe that's what I should put instead of that one. But yeah, this stuff's hard enough, man. Balancing family, budget. Now you got to network and build who you know kind of thing. It could be overwhelming. So absolutely, bring a friend. There's going to be awkwardness. Like 100%, it's going to get weird. So, expect it. That way you're already ready for it. Try and keep things one-on-one. If you're very introverted and you don't do well in groups, there's nothing wrong with just keeping the conversation one-on-one. Ask for an introduction. If you're going somewhere and you know somebody that's going and they, ask for people, hey, would you mind introducing me to so-and-so? that kind of will also help. Prepare ahead of time. I already talked about that. Manage your inner critic. So my point to that is the same wife that I made mention to. She is amazing at like, hey, just FYI, we're going to so-and-so. We're going to be there. We're going to so-and-so for dinner. We're going to meet so-and-so for dinner. She is a master at scheduling and a master at backing it out and not going, hey, look, we're not going after all, right? And I have a feeling, now that I saw some of this, is like maybe that's her inner critic going, I don't want to go, oh my God, oh my God, I'm going to fight traffic. Hey, just try your damnedest to silence that. I call it the crazy monkey brain because I get that sometimes. And so try to manage that. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, just be authentic. Be yourself. You know. What about anything else? What did I not cover on the surface here? Please.
Know when to end a conversation. Some people don't know how to do that, and it gets really awkward really quick. So, like, you can go in, you can break the ice, you can speak, and then there'll be a time where you just kind of feel it's time to stop, and that's okay. You move along.
Nope. 100% the exit, right? There's nothing worse than, oh, we got 5 minutes. We're not going to make it to the end. I'm happy about that. Yes, the exit is like, that's an art form in itself almost. Like, even I struggle with that sometimes, right? Because then, you know, time is like of the essence, and you're like, oh man, like what do I do? Hey, this is where the don't be a dick part comes in too. But discuss follow-up. Hey, is it okay if we connect on LinkedIn? Hey, is it okay if I send you an email? You know, hey, are you going to be here for the rest of the event? I'd love to stay in touch, but right now I'd like to wander around a bit. Tell them, hey, is it cool? I'm really enjoying this conversation, but I don't have a lot of time. I want to wander around a little bit. Thank you so much for your time. Can we connect on LinkedIn? You know, hey, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. Hey, the weather's nice outside. I'm heading outside. So yeah, the exit is an art form in itself.
May I and thank you go a long, long way.
Ah, may I and thank you go a long, long way. Yep, I couldn't agree more with that. Ask them for a card. This is kind of on the sales side of things. I'm not a big proponent of like, here's my card. Take my card. Take my card. Do you want my card? You want my card? You know, ask them for their card. And if you have a card or a resume or something, and you're at that kind of event, you know, either the conversation is about to die down and they haven't asked for your card or your info, you know, at the very end there's like, hey, is it okay if I give you my card? You know, or and if it's an opportunity to give somebody a resume, you know, ask them if it's okay. You know, it depends on the event, right? If it's like a job fair or one of those, but does that make sense?
You know if it was to do cards? I don't have any cards.
You know what's funny?
People ask me, I'm like, I don't know.
You know what's funny? Do people still do cards? I had a marketing guy make fun of me because he wanted to connect with me, and I was like, oh, dude, here's my card. I mean, I got my cards right there. You know, I still think it's a easy form of keeping up with people. I really do. Now, what do? Is I take a picture of it and I upload it into my virtual Rolodex and CRM, and that's how I stay up to date with people. Or it goes right into my Google contacts. So, yes, I still get cards and I still give cards, but that's a fair question. I hear it's going away, so I don't want to take up all your time. Is it okay? Would you mind if I? All right, what now? Real quick, guys. I know our time's running out. Follow up, email. Here's a quick tip on how to cultivate. Really easy. It's one tip. Go through your emails or your text messages, the oldest ones that you have, especially on the text messaging side. If you met somebody at a group or something, or you just met somebody and you haven't talked with them in a year, 2 years, 5 years, that's okay. Send them a quick text back, or send them a quick text and say, hey, I was just thinking about you the other day. How's things on your end? Very open-ended, and maybe you haven't talked with them in 5 years, and you never know what might come back. Hey, I'm in prison. Hey, you know, don't ever text me again, whatever the case may be. But you do that with email and do that with text, and that's how you keep the ball rolling with that. Does that make sense? All right, guys. I got a lot of this stuff from my personal experiences, but also got it from Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he wrote The 4 Hour Work Week. He has a killer blog. not blog. Well, he has a killer blog, but he also has a killer podcast. Got us from Forbes. Justin Harbinger, super good. And so I'm a big fan of his podcast. And of course, I got a lot of stuff from you guys. So in real quick, I'll give a story. So when you approach networking as selflessness, I mean, it's about them. It's not about you. So there was a gentleman that was at a SQL Saturday in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I don't think I have the time for the story. Anyways, long story long is I offered to help him with interview prep and everything. So he called me. I interview prepped him. He ended up getting the job that I helped him interview prep with. And 2 months later, he actually called me and was like, hey, my boss has this job. You were fantastic. Thank you for being at SQL Saturday. Talk to my boss. And because we have a need that's been open for like 90 days. And we ended up filling that job. So the reason for me to tell you that story is like, I didn't know that I was going to get a job order from this kid. But I helped him for the sake of for the sake of helping. And it just, in the good graces of God, came back to me. So, guys, that's it. Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure. It's very much a blessing.